Hey V, how you doing?
I'm just great. How are you doing, Lori?
I'm doing good. It's a revolution is really on the brain right now. My
Oh,
God. I can't help but think of your guest, Linda Sherman, when she talked about this was the second American Revolution that we're in astrologically.
she was right. She is right. Well,
Yeah,
we know. Yeah.
yeah.
But
And
it's interesting to me because it's sort of rippling underneath with many people. People that are holding against it are beginning to move forward, right?
yeah, and there's so much when you troll or scroll YouTube or it is really astounding how many news pieces there are all day long of people pushing back. Oh my God. And this is shit you're not going to hear on mainstream media.
That's the interesting thing is they're not often on the news.
Well,
You have
they're
to
on
go
the
after.
news, but that's what's beautiful right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
This is part of the evolutionary process, is it not? That our media
Hmm.
is actually changing.
Hmm.
We are actually getting more legitimate news reporting from social media,
Hmm.
right? I mean, we have so many people who've gone over there now. Don Lemon, Katie Couric, Joy Reid. I mean, these are mainstream people who've just left mainstream and went and started their own YouTube channels. And Don Lemon, it's amazing what he's doing. He's just on fire.
But it seems really wonderful in one regard, which is that I've been so frustrated with the marketed news media. And now we're getting a freedom from that, a freedom into like really marketing what we want to know about and what we want to hear.
Yeah, we're getting away from those advertising dollars that's manipulating the media outlets. And
Yeah.
we're getting is people who are actually doing their own, like Dawn and Midas Touch, they do their own advertising. I mean, they just talk to the camera and they pitch the product, but Don Lemon will only pitch products that he's used himself and that he stands by. So it's
Hmm.
really super interesting what's going on. And it's actually there's so many outlets now, for instance, on YouTube that you can just get your news from there. I mean, and it's completely legitimate, absolutely real and legitimate news.
It's reliable, actually. Yeah. Hmm.
And it just seems like mainstream media is becoming a thing of the dark, a thing of the dark. Yeah, a thing of the past. Now, what's interesting, my mother is turning 88 years old. She never got her news from social media, ever. Well, guess what? She's starting to listen to news outlets on
Great.
social media.
Is she
So
inspired?
she's depressed. She's depressed by what is happening because for her there's no it's that whole cyclical thing over and over and over again has really gotten her depressed. No, she's not.
What's the cyclical thing? What do you mean by that?
Does anything ever change?
Oh. But she's still finding it depressing. She's not getting an opening window at this
She's just
with
in
this.
general somebody who, when she hears bad news, it's just depressing. Yeah. So, anyways, but what I'm really encouraged by in terms of evolution is that she's gone to social media now.
That's why I'm surprised she's still depressed. I thought
But
that
the
she might.
news is depressing.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? The content of the news is depressing. And she's 88, and for her, I get it. I completely understand. That's why, yeah. So, anyways, so something I wanted to bring up. So we are seeing this giant evolution inside our media construct. which is really amazing. And here we are. We couldn't have had this, V. We couldn't have had this
Yeah,
channel
that's right.
10 years ago. This is very new and anybody can do it. It lends a voice to everybody,
Hmm.
right? Can
Yeah,
you
oh yeah, I agree with you. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine doing this on CBS and CNN? We'd never get the time of day.
Hmm.
But
It was a tightly guarded fortress, a lot of those different systems were. Hmm.
yeah, and this gives voice to everybody who wants to do it.
Hmm.
It's free.
Hmm.
It's really amazing. To me, this is such a huge part of the evolutionary step, you
One of the
know.
things I really love is that people are not afraid also to express what they're depressed about or they're fed up with or whatever. Instead of it playing a game, they're coming up and saying, "I'm so relieved by
Yeah.
that," you know,
Huh.
so relieved. Hmm.
So relieved by that.
By the fact that people can actually say, "Hey, this is bullshit," you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had an argument with somebody that I care about how many kids are now becoming Republican. Okay, and I went, I don't, that doesn't feel right. Okay, that feels really awkward. But here's what happened is she went off and did a bunch of research and then we put our heads back together. There was no argument, no nothing. But we put our heads back together and then we had a brilliant conversation about how the evolution of people's thinking is moving and it just is heartening for me. I mean, it's great. I
Yeah.
didn't expect it from her. I was expecting to have no more conversation because that's what happens sometimes.
Well, and we look to
There's
that,
motion in them there hills, you know?
but just because I'm into facts, we looked this up, and twice as many people under 30 years old are Democrats. That is
I know.
no, I'm
No, we
just
did all
telling
that
our
fact
I'm
checking
just
and
telling
stuff.
our audience that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And she,
yeah. But you had the conversation, and then hopefully she got the facts and got it figured out, right?
and if people, another thing is if people are willing to communicate on that level,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the facts come up with a little more alacrity than they would have normally. It's such a
Yeah.
relief, such a bloody relief.
Well, it's really interesting because a new friend who's American, just 2 hours ago, we were in a text message, and I was talking about how great it is that Gavin's finding the courage to really step up. And we need that. We need leadership right now. We
Hmm.
need somebody to take the reins. Whether you are 100% with Gavin in the past or not, that to me is beside the point. It is crucial that we get behind whoever wants to take the reins and challenge Trump like that. Like
Hmm.
really challenge him. He is not backing down.
Right.
And my friend was like, well, Gavin did this whole number in California and blah blah. And I went, huh. I said, where are you from? She said, Iowa. I said, well, I was born and raised in California. Gavin was my mayor in San Francisco. No politician is ever perfect, but he was always on the right side, if you know what I mean. And here he is being a voice of leadership. And shouldn't we get behind him? But that cynicism comes
Hmm.
in, V, and it drives me absolutely bonkers that
Hmm.
people can allow themselves, and I'd like to talk about that a little bit with you, which is
Hmm.
cynicism. How we can't afford to be cynical right now,
Hmm.
right?
But we're pretty ignorant, I think, when it comes to thinking we have a choice of feelings. And I think that's left over from the old regime and the way the news was marketed before. You
Mm-hmm.
know, having my friend go out there and finally do some research on the very subject
Mm-hmm.
opened the doors for both of us. And I think that it's more prevalent these days for the actual numbers to show up. and hearing what people, for example, Newsom, made some changes. Other people who are leading make some changes.
Yeah.
And when people say, oh, the Dems are doing nothing, I go, you're not paying attention.
Not paying attention. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have to be, I don't think this is small potatoes. I think we have to be on it. We can change the whole tenor of America.
Hmm.
We can do that, but
Yeah.
we have to be on, not afraid to say what's needs to be changed or what's improved, what could be improved.
Right. And one of the things that Gavin is saying in many of his speeches now is wake up, America, wake
Yeah.
up. And he's not mincing words. He said, these people are sons of bitches. He
Yeah.
called them that right there on camera. I mean,
Yeah.
he is fighting fire with fire because that's kind of, he's not as crass as Trump, but he's willing to be a little more
Well,
stick,
and Beta
stick to
O'Rourke was
you.
on with him, and he was really good too. I mean, some of these guys are really vital, and you can tell they're fighting for the life of their people, you know?
Mhm. Who,
So
I'm sorry,
we're not just leaning on
you broke up a little bit. Who was on with him?
Beta O'Rourke.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's brilliant. And
Yeah.
when he was talking with Newsom, it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And I felt so alive. And that's what's happening more and more is they're coming together, not in an affected hairdo, but you know what I mean? A really
Yeah.
juicy way of thinking, of learning, of expanding.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know?
And just to take a moment away from politicians and into people like you and me, every day on YouTube, I'm watching footage from everyone's cameras, documenting stuff that doesn't lie. We're seeing it, right?
Right.
We're seeing
Right.
what's unfolding. And there was an old man today who was out in front of the White House. He was a combat veteran and he was burning the American flag. And he had a
Saw
loudspeaker,
that.
and he had a loudspeaker, and he was talking about why he was burning the American flag. I mean, he was well spoken. Well, they
Hmm.
came and they arrested him. Do you know it's not illegal to burn the flag?
Wow.
And
I didn't know
he
that.
sat there with in handcuffs saying, look at, they're arresting me. I'm exercising my First Amendment right. And this is true. In 1990, the Supreme Court reaffirmed the constitutionality that freedom of speech was protected under the
Hmm.
Constitution, and that include flag burning. If you
Hmm.
felt like that's something you wanted to do, it's not illegal.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this regime is just makes up its own rules, right? And here this man, and he's calling it a spade for a spade with his loudspeaker, saying, "Look, this is what's happening to me when I'm burning a flag, and I have a right to do that."
And
So, and
ostensibly, it's because he doesn't agree with the garbage that the administration's doing,
yeah,
right?
exactly. He was burning the flag in protest of
I
what
watched
this
that. Yeah,
regime is
that's
doing. I mean,
great.
it's really powerful. But
Hmm.
and V, it comes to my mind, who is carrying out this stuff? For instance, Donald Trump doesn't have control over every single person in law enforcement. They take their direction, they're minions. They take
Hmm.
direction from people above them. It's a hierarchy.
Hmm.
So there's the police, the federal police, I guess, are on the grounds, Washington, D.C. Who has told them to arrest this man?
Right.
This consciousness that ICE is promoting, where you can just go in and do whatever you want and ask questions later. This consciousness is almost sweeping through friggin' law enforcement.
But I loved it when they arrived at somebody's place at 3 a.m. The guy answered the door with a gun and shot them dead.
Yeah, but I never, sorry, I didn't find that story. But
Oh, really?
I woke up to it and I just couldn't find it again. But my point, V, is who are these people making these decisions? Where are they getting their information? From the people above them, their
Mhm.
superiors, telling them do what you want?
I don't think they're telling them to do what you want. I think it's telling them we don't want brown people. We want to clean up the country,
No, that's
and
yeah, I was talking mostly about this man as an example. Who is telling these officers to arrest this guy?
I don't know because I think, well,
Are we
I could
just
make
on
up what I think.
automatic? Are we just on autopilot because
Yeah,
ICE is
sometimes
doing
we
it?
are. Yeah.
And so then I hold every single one of these law enforcement people responsible. And I hold the military responsible for
Mhm.
coming out. Who's allowing this? Who's allowing the military to come into these major cities in the United States and occupy? Who's allowing this? I keep asking this question. Aren't where are they? Maybe this is a Miracrux thing for us, because
Mhm.
where is the militia? V, where's the militia? We know that shootings are up 700% against ICE. 700%. People are really pushing back. But why? Where? Where's the militias? Where's the formation of, and we know, okay, we know there was a group of 10 people in Texas a few months ago who were all arrested. They went after a detention center and they shot 20 rounds of ammunition, which isn't that much really, but at ICE officers. 10,
Oh,
10
good. I didn't know
people.
about that.
So it was a small little militia group and they're all white.
Hmm. And so it was a white militia group that shot.
At ICE officers at a detention center in
Okay.
Texas.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting, isn't it?
So this is maybe we can look at this with Miracruz. What is going on in these little consortiums? Are there little consortiums forming? Where and why is the military going into these friggin' cities? Why are superior, the high-ranking officers allowing this to happen?
Because they're conquering America. You know that.
I'm talking about within the military. Everybody always thought the military would stand by the American people. So far, they
I
haven't.
for me, I don't believe that because I think the military is scarily ignorant in a lot of ways. However, my own guidance said there were going to be very specific people, like Millie, they brought him up, very specific people that were going to cross through that and really raise a certain amount of, what did you call it, the militia or the revolutionary group. But it has to be done really cautiously because they'll just kill them right off the bat.
Right. But should we call in Miracrux? Because I'd love to
Sure.
ask Miracrux some questions about these groups.
So let's call forth, let's raise our minds. Everybody at home, if we can have you do this as well, call from infinity plus one, a golden stream of light, and have that light come pouring down in, through, and around your body, mind, into the core of the earth. Good. And we're calling forth Miracrus, this wonderful consortium of beings. There. We are here. We are here with you. The excuse me, the country has been taken over. You understand that, and that there is a great deal of what would you call it? There's a great deal of poisonous thought that is running through the entire military and the entire country. And it's very difficult to extricate people's thinking from that. It's a very, very addictive venom that's in many people. And you know that. You could feel that, can you not, Lori?
Right. And we know, hi, Mary Chris. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Hi. We know that the military is majority is conservative and Republican. Question is, are there factions? God, are there factions within the military that are forming and wanting to not take orders to
Exactly.
go into these cities?
There are. And it's very, what would you call it? It's very undercurrent. And it's watching because they know that if they reveal themselves, they'll be obliterated very fast. Because
Yeah.
that's the way Mr. Trump is running things. Not just Mr. Trump, but the people behind him
Hmm.
are running things in such a way as to cut out any of the poisonous interference. You understand that? And
Uh-huh.
they know that. And we're saying that there is a big change. One moment here. There is a big change coming. And we're asking people to stand strongly. So when you talk about the military, there is a staunch military-like fighting group that is going to fight back, but it's not going to appear to be obvious. You will not know who it is for a little while yet. Soon, but you won't know that for a while because they're covering up their tracks. They're covering up any way that they can be undone before they get to that there is a dream to get to the unsettling of the administration, the way it is taking over the administration. You do understand that, do you not?
Hmm. Hmm. So there's high-ranking military officers, right?
Yes, indeed.
And then there's
Hmm.
low-ranking non-officers who are like we call them enlisted people.
Yes. And some
Uh,
of those are very powerful.
yeah, well, any of these low-ranking soldiers uh, walk away and not want any part of this.
And what is your question? Will any of them walk away? Is that your
Way and
question?
say, and they don't want any part of this, trying to suppress the American population.
What we're seeing is that there's uh, every segment of, for example, the military has got its fermenting corner over here. Every segment of any organizations in America right now has got some fermentation in the corners of its particular, whether you belong to this group or that group or financially, there are places all over America that are working to unsettle this regime.
Uh-huh.
And they aren't necessarily hanging in great groups because that would be the end, wouldn't it?
Right. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm so surprised there haven't been, I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised there haven't been more assassinations in general. For entertainment purposes only, ha ha ha.
Mhm. Mhm.
Life is just a joke. So, so
Lori, there are many people who are afraid to disrupt a kind of a veneer that's over certain parts of the country. They're afraid of disrupting that and creating bloodshed like you've never seen.
well,
There is a venom.
yeah,
Pardon?
and that's my next question, Mira Chris. Are there groups of people forming to uh, take down certain, take down the military, take down law enforcement?
Well, you see, when you say the military, we say to you that there are some amazing transformative components of the military, which will step forward shortly.
Right. I think what I'm asking civilians, people like you and me, are there groups of people forming
Yes, you're
secretly,
talking, yes,
secretly, and,
yes.
in an effort to take out military and law enforcement and ICE?
But you see, taking out ICE is a very important focal point. You understand that? But parts of your country are interestingly numb. The brains are numb.
Yeah.
We see there are places where people are just sitting going, oh, they don't know, they can't decide what's right and what's wrong,
Wow.
and they do nothing. But you have over here, and we've spoken of it before, and we've taken Millie as a perhaps you could say scapegoat, but he's an example of
Hmm.
someone who was stripped in public,
Right.
taken all of his military power, but he has not stopped, and he has a great deal going on, but he's being very cautious because his life is worth very little if he's going to make any kind of fuss. And he'll be coming forward in a while.
Okay.
He already has. He's spoken recently, didn't he? Yes, he did. But we're saying the caution has to be at an all-time high, and the cloak and dagger, the hiding, has to be very, very well discreetly done. It has to be very, very clever, and that there are something you'll find quite interesting. There are people in other countries who are also standing by um, the bringing down of America. You see, not just of America, but this particular regime. There are people that are interjecting from different countries.
Okay. Right. But yeah. I mean, when I think about the Second American Revolution, I imagine, and maybe this won't happen because of the amount of privilege that Americans have really had, uh, you know, through
What are you
through
thinking of?
greed. What I'm wondering is, are there civilian militia groups wanting and trying to form to do actions of they're going to be violent actions against law enforcement and the military occupying their cities? For instance, I mentioned the group of 10 in Texas who walked up
Mhm.
to the detention center and opened fire.
Not on the detainees.
No, on law enforcement.
Mhm.
Do you see that happening?
Not in such a way, but we are seeing the rustling underneath and plans being made by groups of people in specific states, two of them that are in the South and on the East Coast. There are several states that have this undercurrent of activity being built up,
Mm,
and some in different states doing it in very subtle ways. They're just building up their strength and
mhm.
their support. And again, we say there are some from other countries who want to pitch in on it,
Interesting.
mostly because other countries are being deeply affected by what's going on with just simply the economy in America and how it's being handled is
Right.
distorting things in many other countries, including China.
Yeah. So this is not a bloody revolution.
Uh, it can get that way,
Uh-huh.
but what we're saying no at this point is not that bloody, but there are people dying, and you won't hear too much about it yet.
Yeah. Well, there are, like I said, there's ICE agents being shot at is up 700%. So,
Hmm.
so I was watching a new YouTube thing where the commentator was saying, ICE agents, America has had the right to bear arms for a very
Hmm.
good reason against England. The world
Hmm.
can criticize us for that, But let us not forget, and I think this is a great reminder, why, so, that in America's situation, that it's very, because it's such a huge country, that the right to bear arms is actually, and I'm not talking about assault weapons used in mass shootings, but the right to bear arms is a right that was fought for
And the
brutally.
right to protest and the right to speak up and not tolerate
Yes,
suppression.
yes.
There's a great deal of danger in that right now. Having spoken that, I realize that for some people, they have to be aware that the danger is very venomous right now. Um,
Hmm.
but that's going to change because Mr. Trump is not very well, as you know.
Right.
It isn't just that, it's behind the scenes. There are several groups of, for example, we'll call it businessmen for lack of a tidier term,
Mhm.
that really have a lot invested in what Mr. Trump is doing.
Right.
And that you're going to see. One moment, please. You're going to see evidence of that more and more over the next little while, which will make it easier to find them. You
Ah.
see?
Hmm.
Yes. And easier to comprehend what it is they want in order to maintain what they consider to be their success.
Right.
It's not going to be successful. There's a great deal that's coming apart, including Elon Musk. He's kind of coming apart as well. A
Hmm.
lot of this is not going to work. We want to say to you from a different perspective, we've been coaching this one to see that there is evolutionary attitude going on through humanity all over the whole world. And
Hmm.
it's not everybody, it's a smaller portion of humans, but we see that the influences that they are experiencing and feeling and being imbued with that are coming from extraterrestrials and so on. All of that is moving the potential of humanity much, much with more, what would we call it, with more presence, and
Hmm.
realizing that it takes people a while to use different ways of being intelligent and to adjust their thinking and being. But you're going to see many people thinking way beyond whatever's happening on the third dimension. You're going to
Hmm.
see people reaching up and moving beyond in a very exciting way in a short while.
Wow.
And you want this, Lori. This is
Yeah.
what mm,
Yeah. That's what we've been waiting for, right?
it's what we've been. Well, many haven't been waiting. They've been retuning their own bodies,
Yeah.
retuning their central nervous system, retuning their expectation and ability to think and feel.
Right.
This is not for ignorant people. You understand that.
No.
You have to retune your thinking, feeling, and knowing in order to take full advantage of this evolutionary drive that's coming up.
Yeah, it's funny right now because I think we've already been through a couple different portals, but it's funny right now, the energy, the vibe right now, the overall vibe. I know everybody has a different thing that they do with it, but the overall energy, it just feels like almost like you're on a chessboard, as what how I see it. And you have these different figures on these different squares, and you're trying to move, and it's not really letting you, you know, energetically. And yet, then all of a sudden, you get these incredible breakthroughs, and you go, wow, and you're very high, and you're feeling it. But it seems like there's those other points too, still.
Mhm. Quite a few, I'd say.
Yeah. Anything else, Mary Chris, before we head off?
We would like to encourage you all to feel a kind of confidence because sometimes the solutions for these difficult, for example, getting the military, okay, the solutions are going to come through the evolution and the transformation of specific people. So their ability to handle it is going to change quite radically over the next little while. You'll notice many are becoming much more what we would hear as called magical,
Hmm.
finding magical solutions and unexpected solutions. So the linear progression of thoughts and feelings is not going to hold that much weight. You'll find amazing solutions rising, not for all people, but
Hmm.
those who experience them can help a great deal to help other people guide themselves into different ways of thinking and being. You're going to find that's the greatest solution for this suppression of people.
Wonderful.
See? Hmm.
And I
And it
just,
belongs to everyone, you know?
yeah. And before we go, because we're going to get booted off here in a moment, thank you for being here. And yeah, the bell is
Our
ringing.
pleasure.
Uh,
This is a very important time in the history of your planet.
yeah. And I did want to say, I'd like to just give Veronica a plug here. Veronica is an amazing clairvoyant, an amazing energy light worker, an amazing healer. I personally worked with Veronica for over 35 years, so I can vouch for it and how my life changed through the work that we did together. And Veronica's available for readings and healings, and she's good at talking with people on the other side. I mean, pretty much anything you need to discuss. I mean, that's what's so amazing. Her, it's like the buffet is so huge. So,
Thank you, Lori.
yes, and that's Veronica at veronicaentwistle.com. You can reach out to her in an email, Veronica at Veronica Entwistle, ENTWISTLE.com. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining us and
And
bless,
thank you, Chris, for coming in and joining us. Thank you. And Lori.
bless